couldn't be me. That really should be the title of this episode right here. This is season 1, episode 3, titled Hush Tones by Tyler Perry, Divorced Sisters. And I just want to tell you, I think this is going to be an amazing show. This episode really caught me by my nose hairs and dragged me. Because Naomi, Lord no. Rashida, girl, get up, stand up. Oh, Geneva, girl, please. Tiffany don't know how to read the room. And Bridgette is just slow. Let's go. So, episode number 3 starts off with Geneva and Javon alone in the living room. And he asks her, is Anika his? And she's flabbergasted. Taken aback. But the timeline does add up because she's 6 years old, Anika. And the last time they had sex was 6 years ago. And girl, why did you name your daughter Anika when he told you if he ever had a daughter, that's what he wanted to name her? Are you for real? And in my mind, I'm thinking, why the fuck does he want to have this conversation in the middle of the living room, not so far away from William's ears? Like, excuse me, sir, please. Can we have this conversation another time? And William, if you don't know, is Geneva's husband, who invited Javon over in the first place. Now, I know he was the last person Geneva was expecting to see especially after she had just seen him at work and asked him to go away. Sir, now is not the time or place for this, and you know it. If I was Geneva, I would have had to leave. Exit stage left, sir. Please talk to yourself and not me right now in the earshot of my husband. I am not ready to reveal that I cheated on him. Now go on. And just because you divorced, it does not mean that I want to be. No. 6 fucking years, sir. Thank you. I need time to think. You've been here for 6 seconds and you've been gone for 6 years. The math ain't mathin'. Geneva tells him, this ain't right. And he said it wasn't right back then either, girl. But you're supposed to be my wife. Then Geneva said, you know this is wrong to do to him. Talking about William. He said, I don't want to hurt him. And I'm not going to tell him. But this ain't about him. This is about us. And then she said, so you just want to hurt me? He said, you think I came back after all this time to hurt you? Then he tells her, I loved you every single day for the last 6 years. And she was like, you know this ain't right, nigga. And he said, well, it wasn't right back then either. But we had a chance to make this shit right now. He said, you're supposed to be my wife. He said, wife? Nick, do you know how crazy you sound? He said, how the hell is it crazy? Because we talked about leaving them so we could be with each other. So what you mean? Because I love my wife, girl. Now it's your turn to leave your husband. Like you said you was going to do. It's your turn, girl. And she was like, nigga, so much has changed since then. That was 6 whole years ago. He said 5 years and 11 months. But who's counting? Lord have mercy, Jesus. You, sir, you're counting. And I will be counting too because Geneva is beautiful. Count them. Then comes a big question. He asked her, how old is Anika? And she said, Jay, my nigga, don't start. Don't you even go there. He said, bitch, please. We talked about having a baby and naming her Anika. And you just so happen to have a 6-year-old named Anika? Excuse me? He said, what the fuck wrong with you? Oh, child. Then he said, tell me you happy. Just tell me you happy. He said, I fucking dare you. Lord have mercy, Jesus. I will say I like a man with a little bite in him. I like my man like her. You know what I'm saying? I like mine on me. You gotta be on me. You can't be nonchalant with me. That does not work with me. That is a mega turn off. I will leave you alone. You ain't got to worry about me. I'm just saying I like mine, you know, I like mine with a little dog in them. You know what I'm saying? A little rough around the edges. Yeah, treat me like a queen, like a big baby. Yeah. That's what I like. That's what I like. That's what I like. Yeah. Oh, let me stop playing. Okay, I'm going back to the review. He was like, girl, we was good together. And you know that she said, that's when you was my sneaky link, but you not no more. And this is when he told her that was then, this is now, and I'm back here for you. She said, nigga, I'm not doing this with you. You are crazy. You got to get out of here. He said, do you really want me to go? And he said, you don't want me to go. This is probably the most fun you've had since I was here the last time. Play with somebody else. You want me to stay? You know it, girl. Now, the next scene is with Rashida and Pastor Jeff. They're in the car heading to the banquet, and Rashida asked Pastor Jeff if he meant what he said. And she's referring to when he said he loved her. And instead of answering her, this picklehead nigga asked her, what's going on with you? You going through menopause or something? And look, don't do us, don't do her. Don't do us and don't do her, sir. Don't even. Boy, I will pop you upside your head. And she said, answer the question. Did you mean it or not? Now he's trying to divert from the fact that he's a problem by asking her what the fuck is wrong with her. But no, nigga, what the fuck is wrong with you? You box head nigga. You loaf of bread head ass nigga. She tells him every time I ask you about something you're doing, you try to turn it around on me. But this is not about me. And that's so narcissistic. That is such a narcissistic trait. So if you're dealing with somebody that every time you're trying to communicate, they try to act like you're the problem when you're actually just trying to communicate, you're dealing with a narcissist because they never want to face themselves, because that's how ugly they are. It would literally cause a death of some sorts for them to face themselves and try to change their narcissistic ways. Back to the review. Anyway, then he responds to her in a condescending tone. Yes, Rashida, I love you and you know it. And she's like, do you? And he's like, I say it to you every Sunday. And she's like, first of all, sir, every Sunday, once a week, once every 7 days, that's when you find the time to tell your wife you love her. And the only reason why you're doing it on that Sunday is because you are amongst people and you want to look a certain way to them. I would literally punch you so hard in your face, we just go off the bridge. I will take us both out right here, right now in this car. Please play with somebody else. You are not, Molly, you are in danger. You are in danger. He pissed me off so bad in this scene, and just every scene he's in, because he's such a dickhead. Anyway, Rashida says that's performative. That's in front of the congregation, because when you want to make it seem like you're some loving husband, that's when you act like you love me so much. But if that was actually true, you would show it. And we would be having sex, more sex than what we have been having. Then this conehead nigga says, my bad, I'll do better. I love you, Rashida, I do very much. She said, don't patronize me, nigga. Don't patronize me, you blockhead bitch. At this point, they're bickering back and forth, and I wish they both would just shut the fuck up. would have rather drove in silence, because talking to him is like talking to a brick wall. In that conversation or argument, that she tells him, I got your back. And I'm like, girl, you need to have your own back. Somebody else got his back too, but we ain't gonna get into that yet. But somebody else definitely got his back. So you need to worry about your own back. Anyway, Jeff was yelling like a baboon's ass, telling her he's not gonna allow her to ruin his night. And she says, too late, you already ruined mine, you conehead bastard. Then he gonna say, do you notice that we never ride together anymore? She said, how could I not? Nigga, I'm surprised we riding together tonight. And he said, I just wanted it to look good. There you go, worrying about what shit look like. That's why we still married, because you worrying about what it looked like, bitch. Instead of what it actually is, and it's in shambles. Then he tells her she nags, that's why they don't never ride together. And she said, it's not nagging, it's called communicating. Then he basically tells her, girl, I ain't got time. She was like, that's the problem. You don't never have time for your family. When's the last time you asked your son about his grades? Then he gonna say, I'm not gonna let you ruin my night. And she's like, bitch, you already ruined mine. Then this guy says, do you know how many women would want to get with me? Do you know how many women would love to be in your shoes? And do you know I will take my shoe off, Jefferson, and carve your eyeball out your face? The fuck is wrong with you? Who do you think you are? You are not that. Because I hate people who don't realize it's your attitude that makes you ugly. So it don't really matter what you look like. Some of y'all, when y'all open your mouth, you automatically become ugly. And that's a shame. And I also would like to add, that's another narcissistic trait, when you think people who think more of themselves than what they actually are. You think too much of yourself. They have a God complex. It's disgusting. And every chance I get, I'd like to put the mirror up to their face and show them exactly who they are. I love to see them cringe at their own image. Narcissist. So back to the review. Yes, he mentioned how females was checking up on him, and she like, yeah, I see it. She said, yeah, I see it. That's why I gotta go through the measures that I have to go through to protect you and the church. Then basically he tried to make it seem like she wouldn't be nowhere without him. And she like, nigga, don't forget that this is my legacy. My grandfather passed this down to me. So you are where you are because of me. Then she turned the music on and basically to tell him, please shut the fuck up for the rest of the way. Clock that. Because boy, who the fuck do you think you are? You pencil eraser head bitch. Now the next scene is at Naomi's house, child. Lord have mercy, Jesus. She's getting all done up to go to the banquet. She has her cosmetic crew there. She came out to Trina, the baddest, you know that. Dun, 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 that's the song. Anyway, they're amping her up, letting her know she looked good and all that jazz. But while they're doing that, the police show up. Child, the police got a warrant and they want to search her house. She said, you ain't searching shit. They keep trying to get her to go outside. She said, I ain't going outside. I done told you. I ain't going nowhere and you ain't taking nothing. But they say, ma'am, yes, we are. Unless you want to go to jail, we is. Then Franklin's lawyer walks in and says, I know this is impossible for you to do, but if you just calm down, I'll tell you outside. And she's like, I ain't going outside. Just like I told this meathead ass police officer, I'm going to tell you, I ain't going outside. Then the lawyer continues to taunt her by saying, this is going to be fun to share with your ex-husband. And that's when her friend jumped in and was like, girl, let's just go outside. For you go outside this man head and you really go to jail for real. Because at this point, I'm ready to pop him in the mouth. And it ain't got nothing to do with me, she said. She ain't say that, but that's what I would have been thinking if I was her friend, standing there with her. Because, bitch, what? Because you're doing the most, sir. Now, they finally get outside and she sees them taking her vehicles. They took all of them except for her old school one, which I personally love the most out of all of them. Anyway, that one would have made me cry. But they took the Range in a Lambo. And I know that wanted to make her cry. Because, you know, it's Naomi. So now her friends and her crew are asking, what did she do wrong? And the lawyer says, she knows what she did wrong. We are here to confiscate the property of Mr. and Mrs. Price. And she says, I am Mrs. Price. And he basically says, not anymore, girl. Not anymore. There were certain things that Naomi was supposed to turn over, which were court ordered for her to do by a certain date. And now we here to collect. We are here to collect, honey. Give us our things, he said. She proceeded to tell the lawyer, I ain't giving you shit. They done took her paintings, her safe, her furs. Lord have mercy. They even took the jewelry off her body. Could you imagine that? That is so violating. And even though Naomi is unhinged in a lot of ways, I can also see that she has a good heart. And she's also still human. And she's hurting right now. She feels a great sense of betrayal and probably loneliness as well. And she's obviously going through a stage of grief, which I believe she's in the angry stage right now. But what do I know? Because I'm not anybody's doctor. It doesn't matter though. Whatever stage she's in, she has a right to be in it. Because Franklin is not innocent. As you can see, if you're watching the show, he's actually displaying the traits of a narcissist, a covert narcissist, because he wants to seem innocent. You know, he wants to seem like the more civil one in the situation, but he is not. Okay, he has those covert narcissistic traits because he likes to play the victim, but he's truly the devil. And I'm sure more of that will unfold in the future. I mean, he is the reason they got a divorce in the first place. He was the one cheating with a woman he claimed to only be friends or colleagues with. And I also believe she may be pregnant right now. I don't know, but we'll find out sooner than later. Lord have mercy. An extremely humiliating moment for Naomi. And this scene ends with Naomi driving off and her friends still standing there in disbelief and confusion. Okay, so the next scene is with William, Javon, and Geneva, and they're going their way to the banquet. Javon starts the scene off saying, well, I feel like the third wheel. And William's like, not at all. He's so jovial and shit. It's like, come on, bro. Then Javon says, are you sure about that? Geneva, how about you? And it's like, sir, could you please stop talking to me in the presence of my husband? Could you try your best to do that? Please stop pushing the envelope. Because I'm gonna be real with you, William seems like a really nice, sweet guy, right? And we know he doing some little shady shit on the side with the Goya bean lady, but this is the thing. Those type of people, they're crazy too. Like they have a crazy side. So Javon, I don't know if you've seen that other Tyler Perry movie with Ron Rico Lee in it. I think that's his name. Please forgive me if I butchered your name, sir. I'm so sorry, sir. But in that last Tyler Perry movie, I forget the name of it, he seemed sweet there too, but he was really like crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he may have the same energy in this show right here. So I don't know, Javon. You might want to hold your horses and just you might want to chill. I don't know. Anyway, back to the review. Geneva really want Javon to stop talking to her. Honestly. Geneva's phone is going off because Duffy is calling her phone to let her know what just took place at Naomi's house. So William's like, who keep calling your phone? And she said, Duffy, I'll call her back. Then William goes to tell Javon that there's going to be a ton of beautiful single women there. Geneva trying to look unbothered, but she keep rolling her fucking eyes, and I wish she would catch control of herself and her bodily functions when Javon comes around. Then William suggests hooking him up with Tiffany, and Geneva was like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. Now, William, why you couldn't let Well Enough be right then, right there? And instead of him leaving Well Enough alone, he talking about, yeah, I'm doing it. Like, boy, please sit down. Then after that, Javon tells him, well, I kind of got my eye on someone else right now. And William's like, okay, I see you player, huh? And then William tells Javon that you're going to meet Tiffany tonight. Her and Geneva have been friends for years, and you can see the light go off in Javon's head like, oh, really? Geneva's friend, huh? He's already saying, yeah, I'm going to mess with Tiffany just to get under Geneva's skin because now he knows they're friends and he knows that if he flirts or dates one of her friends, that's really going to ruffle her feathers. Okay? And in turn, that may push her to engage more with him, even if it's not in a positive light. At this point, he's desperate. He's like, I don't give a fuck if you mad at me or if you happy with me, just talk to me. You know, so you know how men can be, you know, and he wants her to give up the tough guy act, but I don't know. But men are so manipulative, sneaky, and conniving. You motherfuckers are conniving. I see you. Finally, Geneva gets on the phone with Duffy, and Duffy tells her what happened with Naomi, and Geneva thanks her for the call and says that she'll give Naomi a call to find out exactly what the hell is going on. Geneva then says she needs to make a private phone call, and William asks if he needs her to pull over and if everything is all right. And Geneva says no. And then Javon said, is there anything I can do to help Javon? Javon. Stop offering things to me in front of my husband. Geneva says, I need to make a private call. And, you know, William's like, well, I'll pull over. And she says, nah, we almost there. I'll wait till we get there. Then he also stated that he'll find out whether Franklin is coming or not once they get there as well. That was a plus, but as we know, it didn't make no difference. Javon offers his help, asking, is there anything he can do? And she says no. Javon, stop talking to me. The next scene is at the actual banquet hall with Bridgette and her YN Vaughn. The scene starts off with Bridgette giving directions to the caterer. William calls Bridgette to ask if she can add another chair to their table because he invited Javon and he wants him to sit next to Tiffany. Bridgette is like, what? Yeah, whatever. Just, I am in the middle of stuff and you talking about seating arrangements. Like, you are late. Vaughn and one of the caterers done got into it, and Bridgette had to break that up because Vaughn is a child. He keeps yelling out. He's a content creator. Like, and in the scene, he also voices to Bridgette that he's hurt by the fact that she never talks about him to people or introduces him to anyone or makes him feel significant in her life. Then he says he needs a drink like he don't realize he's at a church event with his goofy ass. Now, the next scene is with Rashida and Pastor Jeff pulling up to the banquet. Pastor Jeff gets out to open Rashida's door to let her out. He reaches for her hand as they walk into the banquet. Rashida walks into a private room at the hall to find Tiffany getting herself together. And when Rashida walks in, Tiffany's like, "Oh, girl, you look beautiful. Wow, you look so nice." And, just amping Rashida up, letting her know she looked good. And then she didn't get the compliment back. She goes, "Girl, we look good." And Rashida like, "Yeah, girl, we look good, girl." Mm-hmm. And Tiffany's like, "What's wrong?" Now, I just want to take a pause a moment right there. First of all, I don't like shit like that. Rashida, you could have told that girl she looked beautiful. She was pretty at least. At least you liked her dress, her hair, her makeup was nice, her face is beat. You couldn't find one thing you could have complimented that girl on? Come on now. I don't like stuff like that. I don't like people like that. I've been around people like that. And not saying this is the case for Rashida and Tiffany, because Rashida is beautiful and I know she know it, as Latoya Luckett or Rashida on the show. My thing is, a lot of females do this because they're insecure, and it's crazy because you're the one giving them a compliment, but they actually are jealous or envious of you, so they don't give one back, And it's like, oh, bitch, that's the first and last time I will give you anything, you raggedy buckethead bitch. Now back to the review. Rashida's like, "Girl, I gotta process shit before I let it out. I'll let you later about it." And Tiffany's like, "Yeah, I know." Then girl, quit asking me if you know. Back to the review. Done pissed me off. So now walks in Bridgette and Geneva. They disclose to Tiffany and Rashida that there's something going on with Naomi. So now they got to get her on speakerphone to see what's going on with her and where she at, because they done heard some stuff went down between her and Franklin. They finally get Naomi on the phone, and Naomi lets them know that Franklin done took everything, or that Franklin had the police come take everything. And Geneva's like, girl, I done told your ass. You was supposed to give that shit up long time ago. It's court ordered. It's court ordered, girl. You was been supposed to bring that shit back. So now Naomi like, "I'ma sue his ass." And they like, "No, bitch." She's like, "I'ma sue him for trying to sue me." The hell with him and that bitch. And they're like, "Lord have mercy, Jesus." So now at this point, they're like, "Yo, where are you?" They want to know where she is physically and mentally. They kind of got the mentally part down, but the physically is like, "Girl, where you at? Let's make sure you ain't on your way here." And Naomi said, "I was going to come to the banquet, but I ain't coming." And they was like, "Ooh, girl, good. We'll see you after. Go home and, sleep it off." And she like, yeah, whatever. Whatever, bye, bitches. She hung up on them girls. And they was like, "Ooh, Lord Jesus. Naomi, what the hell is we going to do with your ass?" Now the girls gather up to go down to the banquet to meet the fellas and, everybody else. Now the next scene, this scene right here goes to the banquet hall where Myron is fixing Pastor Jeff's bow tie. And I just would like to say this. I've already had a gut feeling pertaining to Myron and Pastor Jeff. But the fact that I just saw him fixing that nigga's bow tie close enough to blow in this nigga's eye let me know that they got some Brokeback Mountain shit going on behind the scenes. I don't care. I don't care if it's light flirting. There's something. Now, Myron is taking the title armor bearer to a whole nother level. That's enough, Myron. Myra. I really want to call you Myra, but I'm going to call you Myron. Thank you. Sit down. I mean, unless Pastor Jeff like that, I ain't hating on nobody, but girl, tell Rashida. Myra, you too close. Please go sit down somewhere. You are obsessed and we can tell. Thank you. Next, Calvin walks up and interrupts a little romantic vibe that Myra and Pastor Jeff have. Calvin needs prayer because he's still pissed off at the whole situation between him and Vaughn, and how Vaughn quit the job after one day. How you gonna get fired on your day off, Vaughn? Vaughn, you're asking for liquor. You got fired on your day off, and you got your Party City outfit on that you wore for Halloween. You're embarrassing. Calvin keeps insinuating that Vaughn is just a little ass goofy ass nigga, but Vaughn don't give a damn. Next, William and Javon join the circle of men, and they're all doing their introductions. And then the ladies come out, joining the men. Now everyone is saying their hellos. And William does entirely too much. Now, this scene is where William introduces Javon and then makes a whole scene about him and Tiffany getting to know one another. Very awkward, very uncomfortable, especially for Geneva, of course. And Tiffany, too, because nigga, calm down. Don't make me seem so desperate, please. Because you are William. Like, relax. And I say that because he does this throughout the whole episode, or at least throughout the time that they're at the banquet. William does a lot. William does the most, even down to the seating arrangements, just to make sure that Javon and Tiffany are sitting together. Very cringy, very embarrassing. Like, just sit the fuck down and shut up. Worry about your wife because you don't even got her seat pulled out. And she's waiting while you're gloating and gushing over there over trying to be the millionaire matchmaker. Like, no, sir. You're too invested to the point where I'm wondering, does William know about Javon and Geneva's rendezvous 6 years ago? I don't know now. I don't know. Now Vaughn and Bridgette get into it because Vaughn realizes he got to sit at the back table instead of the table with the rest of the folk. And he like, why I got to sit back there? You know, with like I'm sitting at the kids' table. Like, what's up? Here we go. You embarrassing me, ain't you? Like, come on, bro. Bridgette don't want you embarrassing her any further around her folk. This is a church event, Vaughn, and you are a hoodlum. Rashida overhears and she said, Bridgette, your seat is right here, girl. Come sit down. Next, the attention goes to Javon and Tiffany. They're getting along really well. Kikiing at the table with the same holistic doctor talking about that thing with the lemon. Like, y'all shut the fuck up. It's obviously making Geneva uncomfortable because now she got to run to the bathroom after she done knocked the water over. She can't mind her own damn business because she done asked them what they laughing about. Like, girl, none of your business. Are you for real? Meanwhile, William over there trying to whisper sweet nothings in her ear, and she is so busy watching Javon and Tiffany, she is not engaged at all with her own husband. Geneva, you about to get popped. For real. You about to get popped right in the mouth. Because what is you doing, girl? You have got to get a hold of your emotions. We're not allowing our emotions to supersede our intelligence. We're not doing that in 2025. But Geneva said, fuck you, girl. I'm in my feelings. I'm doing it. And Lord have mercy, Geneva is so frazzled. She done knocked down her water and she needs to excuse herself now because she can't take no more. Watching Javon and Tiffany kikiing and slowly falling in fake love because Javon don't give a damn about Tiffany. He's only using Tiffany to get at Geneva, and Geneva knows it. And at this point, I wish somebody would tell Tiffany, look, Tiff, find you another horse because this one has already been rode. So Rashida goes and checks on Geneva. And this is where Geneva spills all the beans to Rashida, letting her know that her and Javon slept together. As a matter of fact, Anika might be his. He came to her office earlier that day, professing his love for her, but now he's sitting next to Tiffany, acting like he trying to get into that, you know, and it's all just a fucking game. And now Geneva's bugging out because she really does want Javon, but she's in a sticky situation. And Rashida like, girl, I don't know what you finna do, because that's a mess. I mean, at this point, I don't even know one of them long prayers that my husband claimed I be doing gonna help your ass. Lord have mercy. So the next scene switches back to the banquet hall, and Myron seizes his opportunity to go over and talk to Pastor Jeff because he just cannot contain himself, girl. He wants some of Pastor Jeff's cookie. And I realized in this scene when I rewatched it that in this scene, he lets Pastor know that Franklin's coming. I think he calls him Big Money or something. So I wonder, when it boils down to it, is it really Myron's fault that Franklin showed up? The more these episodes come, the more I dislike Myron. Myra, go change your wig and get on out the way because you're pissing me off. Move, Myra. And I would also like for you all to pay attention to Exhibit A, which is the water glass in Myra's hand. Remember that water glass. So now we have Myra sitting in Rashida's chair next to his man, sipping on her water, frolicking in ambiance, all because he's next to his girlfriend, Pastor Jefferson. And as if Vaughn was not wrinkling enough, he decides to ask Myra where he got his suit from. Myra says, my wife, Myra, you got a wife, Myra? Child, I ain't heard about your wife till just now. Anyway, he being real condescending towards Vaughn. And Vaughn just don't give a fuck, honestly. I don't think he's one of those people where you can get under his skin, or if you can, he's not going to allow you to know that. Must have went through a lot in the past. I don't know. But he got tough skin because he's never bothered. But after those questions, Myron asked Bridgette to take him from the table. Kind of like how when we in the grocery store and it's a badass kid running around and we wish the parent would get their child under control. That's what Myra did. He basically told her, get your baby, Martha, and get on up out of here. And she treated him just like a child and said, come on, boy, get on up. Now this scene jumps to William and Javon, and William's asking him what he thinks about Tiffany because Tiffany finally walks away, and I know she's on her way to the bathroom because you know she just can't contain herself. She's so fucking nosy and she doesn't know how to read the room. That's clear. But what's annoying about this scene is that William will not give up. Like, stop trying to push Tiffany on your guy so much. Everybody's growing William, which makes me wonder, why are you doing all of this for Javon, William? Do you know that him and Geneva have a past? Because why are you trying so hard like you're getting paid to match them together? You are not the matchmaker. Tiffany makes her head ass to the bathroom or the area where Geneva and Rashida are. Tiffany gets to the door, banging on it like a maniac, like she got to pee so bad, asking, can she come in? She comes in, and instead of her going to the bathroom, she sit down to myself, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like, is everything okay? It's like, girl, I thought you had to fucking pee. And that's what Rashida said, and that's what I would have said. She said, the bathroom is that way. Go somewhere, girl. Do you not know how to read the fucking room? If we wanted you, you would be here. Damn. I hate when a bitch don't know how to read the room, because I hate when people make fools out of themselves. They don't want you, girl. And I already told you, I being Rashida, to stay where you was at. Yet here the fuck you are. And I know it's a public bathroom that she could have went to. Moving on. Now the scene goes back to Bridgette and Vaughn, because remember, she made him get up from the table. And he's telling her that he feels weird around her friends. They're judgmental and he just want to go home. Then he tried to take her car to go home. Classic YN behavior. Vaughn, leave, please. And he does. He leaves. Bye, Vaughn. Now the scene switches back to Geneva, Rashida, and Tiffany. Tiffany comes out the bathroom, plops her fucking ass down in the midst of Geneva and Rashida's conversation, and she wants to start talking about Javon and how Geneva was holding out on her. Girl, Tiffany, get yours out of here. Now, I just want to say this. I get it. They're a group of friends. You know, they're all supposed to be sisters and all this stuff. So, you know, why are we holding secrets? But everybody has a different relationship with everybody. You get what I'm saying? Like, you might be closer to someone. If it's a group of 5 of y'all, like, y'all all can't be close at the same degree. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but the dynamic of everyone's relationship is going to be different. It's just like a mother and her children. We love our children equally, but they all get treated according to their personality and who they are and what the fuck they need. Tiffany, you need to know how to read the room. And why would you plop your ass down when Geneva and Rashida were absolutely and definitely having a proper conversation? You could have went to another bathroom. I know that big ass banquet hall that has a private dressing room for you bitches also has several bathrooms. Stop imposing. If people want you, you'll know. And this is not just for relationships. This was or romantic relationships. This is for any type of relationship you're in. If they want to, bitch, they will. And if they don't, they didn't want to. Leave them alone. Oh, God, I just had to get that out. Because she is annoying the fuck out of me. And I want to give her grace. Because she's being blindsided in a way. But then also, again, she a lawyer or whatever she ain't a lawyer. Whatever she is, she ain't that damn stupid. She gonna catch on sooner than later. Hopefully, damn. Because Geneva's like, girl, can't you see I am in fucking shambles right now? Get your goofy ass out of here, bitch. Do you not know how to read the fucking room? Now is not the time. And Rashida has to intervene to tell Tiffany to hush, girl. Damn. Tiffany also disclosed that she liked Javon and that she's ready to get back into the dating game and that her and Javon have a lot in common. Y'all do. And Geneva is what y'all have in common. Rashida and Geneva are looking at each other but not saying a word, and Tiffany's looking at them not saying a word, and I guess the girl finally got a fucking clue and says, okay, well, I guess you'll tell me later or not, girl. And Rashida said, yeah, we should get back to the table. Tiffany leaves out finally with her not knowing how to catch a fucking clue ass. When Tiffany walks out, Bridgette walks in and tells Geneva and Rashida that Franklin just walked in with his white bitch. And she says, thank God Naomi is not coming. Bridgette notices Geneva's in shambles and she asks Geneva, what's wrong? But Rashida shuts her down and says, nothing, let's go. She looks back at Geneva. She said, you all right? You good? You ready? She said, yeah. And they all head back to the banquet. Now we're at one of the last scenes where we finally meet Franklin and his new wife. Franklin and Pastor Jeff are talking about the banquet, and his new wife discloses that she didn't even want to come. And she asked about the dragon lady, referring to Naomi, of course, which Rashida hears as she's walking up to greet them both. Rashida asks her as she walks up, and who would that be? And then Tiffany pulls up and says, who are you calling dragon lady, bitch? She didn't say that, but she did ask her who the fuck you talking about. Then Molly the maid says, I was just joking, but girl, let me just say that you're too comfortable talking smack about Naomi around her circle of people. And yes, Franklin might be your husband now, but you should just play the backdrop, collect your funds, and shut the fuck up. I don't like when a new bitch come along and act like she been there for years, but you have not. And you need to calm down because you really don't know what you've gotten yourself into. Also, I don't think you're a match to Naomi. Now, I don't think you can handle a match. Naomi's crazy, so I think you should really just chill. But you know what, though? This is a Tyler Perry series, so I don't know what he has up his sleeve. You just might be, ma'am. You just might be more lethal than Naomi, as a matter of fact, because I remember the haves and the have-nots, and there were a lot of surprises in that show, which was a wonderful show. And so I'm just saying, we don't know that side of you yet. Okay, we might not know that side of Miss White Lady, but if it exists, I'm sure it's going to pop up very soon. So I don't know you, Miss White Lady. I don't know you now, but I know Naomi right now, and she ain't wrapped too tight. So you might need to chill. And your best bet is to just hush, just be quiet, because they would have thought I was mute. Because your husband is messy, and I don't really know how much he love you, because he's still sending jabs and subliminal messages to Naomi via social media, when he could have just let her be with her $37 million damn dollars. The next scene goes to all of them sitting at the table, and the girls realize that the white lady, Franklin's new wife, is wearing Naomi's 10-carat yellow diamond earrings. And I just want to say, I think the white lady's name is Leslie, but I'm not sure, so I don't want to keep calling her Leslie, and that ain't her name. So I'm just gonna call her the white lady. Anyway, they notice that she wearing Naomi's 10-carat yellow diamond earrings, and Tiffany says, "Yeah, they look better on brown skin." And the white lady says, "Excuse me," and Tiffany says, "Women of color make them pop." Lord have mercy, Jesus. I can't disagree with that, though. Now, the next scene goes to Bridgette. She comes to the table to tell them we have a problem because Naomi just stepped in the building, girl. Lord have mercy, Jesus. The dragon lady is here, girl, and she's drunk and headed towards the table. Duck, Miss White Lady. Ella, duck, because you done spoke her up. And that is the end of the episode 3, season 1 of Divorce Sisters with Tyler Perry. I know I'm late, but better late than never. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you for listening. Look at you. I appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.